My name is Akio Sakido.
Hey guys, this is Anto Lecky.
My name is Leo Bliss.
My name is Akava. I go by the name Baba D.
And you're tuned into Rapid TV.
And I love Rapid TV.
Shout out to Rapid TV. Thank you, Rapid TV. Please keep watching
Rapid TV. This is Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Keep watching.
Keep it right down.
Leave it like that.
Chineke ukwu ọ bụghị kere elu ka ala anyị na-atụrụ gị mma mma lekwe ndị m bịara nga m ugbu a ọ bụ ndị nshi na Rapid telivishọn ha bịara ka mụ na ụlọ abụ mkparịta ụka ka mụ na ụlọ abụ mkpa ife gbasara omenala madachi Chineke ukwu o jiri bịa na-ejiwala nna m chọ bịara nga m abịagbule m ya nga ịla mkpukpu apụla ya n'azụ ọ bụ ọjị na anyị na-eji anabata ọ bụkwa na ọjị la nna anyị njiri lụọ nwaanyị lụọ nne anyị ọ bụkwa na ya na njiri ga anabata we ọ bụkwa na ọjị la anyị na-eji anabata ọbịa ya ana m achị Chineke ukwu mkpa a bịaruwe ma enyewe ọjị aga wee ta ọjị tata mma anyị ga-eta ọjị tata udo anyị ga-eta ọjị tata ọganihu ọ ga-edoro Abia steeti mma ọ ga-edoro Naijiria mma n'aha nke nna na nke ọkpara na nke mmụọ nsọ amen.
I want to observe a culture from our ancestors which has led to the progress of many people you see today. Father's blessing. Clinton, when he is my son, has just concluded a film production management with us, and he has earned his first salary. His first salary is 50,000 naira for the movie. When is it? From your pocket, and the 50,000, give me 500 naira. All right, here now, let me bless you. This is the culture of Ndibo. The first salary of a man, of a young man, he goes to his father to say, Nani, my salary is 50,000. The father may decide to take the entire money. He may also decide to give him, to take 1,000 naira, 2,000, 5,000. It is the Igbo culture. And his father will now bless him. The idea of his father asking him to know the salary is so that the father will teach him financial management. The father will now tell him, this is how to manage your money and this is how to make it in life. He will now pronounce his blessing, and that's father's blessing. So all you who are going to the pastors to show your salary, you're wasting your time. It's not part of our culture. Only a father can bless his son or daughter. Onyeze, I set you forth with this 500 naira. Whoever is your boss shall not run dry. Amen. You will always receive your salary in due course. Amen. And whatever you do from this moment shall prosper. Amen. I bless you in the name of our forefathers, Amen, who established a culture of fatherly blessing. Amen. It is, I am your eye and your mouth and your everything. After God in your life is me, not your pastor. Any money you make, you bring it to me, I bless you. I bless you from today. With all my friends gathered here, it is well with you. Amen. For respecting me and showing me this love and respect as your father. May it be well with you. In Jesus' name. Amen. You have earned 50,000 naira. I've only taken 500 because that's what I want to do. I could also ask you to give me the entire money. Oh, it's not for your pastor. Do you understand that? I am the God you are saying. Yeah, that's very Ejima and them descending living everywhere in the world. Marching on Mbise soil in Lagos. Amen. Amen. Thank you. Amen. 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 Okay.
Good morning. This is Eastern Circle on Rapid TV, reaching you live from our studio here in Umuahia, the capital of Abia, God's own state. My name is Adeze Egwem, and as always, I have Michael here with me in the studio. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, beautiful Ada. How are you?
If you refuse to monetize this, your compliment.
Answer, how are you first?
I am fine.
And
if I say I'm not fine, what happens?
Does everything have to be about money or monetization?
I like money, Michael.
Okay, yes. I do too. But, you know, how are you again? You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael Odurman, and welcome to Eastern Circle today. It's a beautiful day, and even more beautiful because we're being joined today by a development strategist, public affairs analyst, and of course a writer. But that's not all he has to his portfolio, because he's also a partnership officer for Power. I'm talking about none other than Kelechi Imo.
Michael.
Good to have you join us. Good morning to you.
Always a pleasure, and it's good to see you again, Adeze.
Why wouldn't you be a pleasure to see her?
Michael, why you always like this?
Don't start. Are you jealous?
Okay. No, not really. You know, we have our junction. If I'm aggrieved, we know where to go and meet and settle our quarrel.
It's good to be
Good to have you join us today.
Thank you.
You're looking good, but as always, you know,
pleasure.
Great. I mean, how have you been generally?
I've been doing so well for myself, and I'm grateful to Chukwuki.
Okay, so before now you saw a bit of a video. We get to that video trended about a week ago or thereabouts, and a lot of people are reacting to it in different ways. You know, they are saying it's controversial. Others are saying, yeah, kudos, that's the right thing. But let me start by asking you, Mr. Imo, are you a Christian?
I am.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the second question. He mentioned something I think is quite important. He said, after God, he, as the Father, is the next to the Son. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So, generally, you buy the idea of what he is selling?
I think it's about belief. It's a belief system. I know that in the traditional Igbo culture, what he did was right. Okay, you take your first salary to your father or whoever that is a father figure in your life, and he takes either 10%, 5%, or the whole money, depending. It's at the discretion of your father, just for you to have that fatherly blessings. Okay, I think it's normal in the traditional Igbo culture. However, since the advent of Christianity and things are changing, because of course they say that change is the only constant in life, and it's also said that necessity is the mother of inventions. So experience has actually shown that people tend to, especially in this part of the world, tend to be more Christians than Christian. What do I mean by this?
Okay.
People tend to take their first salary to the church, not necessarily to the pastor.
Man of God.
Okay, they take their first salary to the church because of what the scriptures try to say about that. But in all fairness, I think it comes back to the individual. Whatever you believe works for you. So I don't have any problem with what he says. Choose this day which God you serve. So choose this day which belief
Are you for or against culture?
I am a typical Igbo man.
Yes.
I'm proud to be an Igbo man, so I accept
But I don't
culture.
think so. You should not be sitting on the fence on this one.
The problem I have with you journalists is that you find a way to distinguish between the truth and the facts. We need to place the facts of the matter. Culture, you cannot place culture outside religion. Besides, it's often said that culture, Toro church, tradition, Toro church. Are you getting me? But you have to walk side by side. If you go to church history a bit, Presbyterian Church managed to penetrate places like Ohafia because Presbyterian Church adopted a system that imbibed their cultural beliefs. That is also how Anglican, Methodist, and what do you call it, the big one, Catholic Church spread. So culture is everything to a people, because Chinua Achebe said that a man who doesn't know where the rain starts beating him wouldn't know when his body gets dried up. So you cannot talk about your existence, your beliefs, without mentioning culture, because you come from a place, so you can't separate the two. What we are doing today is that some people are trying to be more Christian than the white man who brought it. That was why, was it Bishop Kuka who said that the white man came with his religion and told us to close our eyes to pray. And when we opened our eyes, they had their land, they had our land, and they gave us the Bible. However you look at it, culture and religion work hand in glove. And for me, choose the one you believe. And if you choose to believe the two, it will also work for you. It's about perception.
Okay. Fascinating.
I think I agree with him.
Oh, you do? Because I was going to come to you. Say, on the other hand, what do you believe regarding the video we just saw?
I actually think it's the right thing to do. Actually, I did that when I started working.
Yeah.
The first salary I ever earned, I took everything to my mom and presented to her. She prayed over it, blessed me, and asked that I continue to prosper. So what works for you? I know people that would prefer to take to the church and give to their man of God, or even sow seed into people's life with that money, not necessarily giving it to the man of God. So what works for you, you do that.
Well, anyway, well, I beg to differ on this, definitely. As far as this matter is concerned, right, I'm a true son of the soil. Forget about this suit I'm putting on. It's because we have to be on set. But the point is, what I'm trying to say is, these things, we have to be like strong-hearted and with our words about it. All right, what is right is right. As far as African traditional religion culture is concerned, in Igbo culture, for instance, in fact, when you look at that story, actually, a lot of people were commenting. Some people are saying it's the same in Yoruba land. Some are saying it's the same in Delta State. You know, you realize that it's kind of uniform in a number of cultures, as I had seen. So we cannot run away from that. I will teach my children that when you start working, who you should respect next to God, your parents, because this is but I think this is one of the reasons why in some families you see that a wife is in the home, your pastor comes in, and you accord your pastor the type of respect that you've never for one day accorded to the man you're living with as a husband. It starts small. So there are some things we should put above religion and Christianity. That's what I think, basically. So
no, but you are not wrong. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
We should learn to put people in their right places. Our parents, our fathers, our mothers.
It's in the commandments.
Of
honor
course,
your father
honor
and
your
mother.
father. He never even said honor your pastors. It was never written.
Yeah.
It was honor your parents, obey your father and mother, so that your days may be long. So whatever you do in honoring and obeying them, you are actually making up for your days being long. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, I think that's pretty much summarizes it. Okay, so that being said, we delve into the meat of the matter for today. But we go on a short break. When we return, actually, there's been some development with the pension and pension arrears in Abia State, and we're hearing different things from the government, from the people, from the Union of Pensioners. Okay, we delve into all of that shortly after the break. We'll get some clarity, especially with our guests here today. Don't go away, we'll be back shortly.
It's me the meaning of proud.
Sorry, sir. Welcome back. All right, so beginning we delve straight into the meat of the matter. We know how strong and how important opposition is as far as every government is concerned, right? So, and we know in Abia State we have the main opposition to be PDP. So recently there's been this back and forth from the PDP, especially there's been a lot of it, but let's take a look at the pension issue, for instance. I think it was somewhere towards the end of March that the governor announced in a church that they were going to clear all pension arrears. And then days later, about 4th of April, another report came from the government that they've cleared backlog of pensioners arrears and dating back to many years. So, and you know, everyone was happy. I mean, I think I saw some people, some were sharing alerts, some were sharing testimonies of their loved ones or their parents, their grandparents who actually got payments in millions, some 1.something million and stuff like that. So a lot of people were happy. I mean, it was jubilation in the land. And fast forward to days, weeks later, recently, we're now hearing that the National Union of Pensioners, they are angry. They are saying there's some sort of agreement between the governor and the pensioners to say they have forgotten the years of arrears they are owing them, so that they will keep receiving from now henceforth. So it just kind of makes me wonder, so who is lying and who do we believe in situations like this? What do you make of the situation, Mr. Kelechi?
Well, I must acknowledge that my mother was one of those who received? Yes,
okay,
her pension. Okay, it was a backlog, it was a bulk, and she received. So
hold on, before you go on, sorry for calling you. When you say backlog, like, can you tell us how long? What's the span of time? How many years was covered in that?
I can't be so specific.
Yes, but okay. At least
I hear 10 months. I hear 10 months basically.
10 months.
I don't know. Okay, I can't really tell how much is being paid monthly to really, because I know she called me and told me that she got 1.something million and all that. So okay, that's fine. But I know that there are some pensioners that are being owed up to 60 months. Okay, because I came to know about this when the whole hula baloo started, and people are saying that that's a lie, the government is lying and all that and all that. Truth be told, there were backlogs that were paid. What I can't really ascertain as an individual is how many years was paid or how many months was actually paid. Judging from what the pensioners were saying, if you look at that later, they actually acknowledged that it does appear there was a kind of a gentleman agreement between the government and the representatives of the pensions. Okay. And it also does appear that in that room, I think this meeting happened in January, sometime around January,
yeah.
And they came to an agreement that he's going to pay a specific number of months, okay, or years as the case may be, and promise that they will forgo the previous pensions and gratuity, because I saw that also in that letter. And from the month which they receive the pension, the previous month, they will not be getting their full pension, because what has happened over the years, especially under the last administration, is that most pensioners were getting half of their pension.
Okay.
So I think the present government is committed in making full payments for their pension. Okay, that's fine. Now, I believe that somewhere along the line, that agreement was not properly reached between the government and exactly, because I wouldn't want to say that the present government lied saying that they cleared all pension, that would be careless of me to accuse them, because knowing the kind of governor we have and how detailed, I was personally privileged to serve at the Transition Committee. Knowing his kind of person, he's not a careless talker. So for him to actually say that in a Catholic church in Aba, because I heard that myself, he must have reached an agreement, and they had an agreement. Where this problem came up and how it came up is what I can't really say, because I saw the letter.
Sorry.
Yeah.
This, if there was an agreement, at least why not communicate that there was an agreement for this to be done, for this? But what we heard was, we have cleared all pension arrears, backlogs, and about 10 billion naira. Interestingly, the same amount that has been disputed in the airport saga was, and they said they had spent about 9 of the 10 billion to clear all of this. We weren't told that there was a gentleman or woman agreement.
Yeah, because why I'm saying this is, if you look at that letter, this is an assumption. I'm not in government. I'm just talking as a concerned citizen. This was what was contained in that letter. And if you could actually deduce, if you could actually understand what the letter was saying, it does appear that this agreement, there was an agreement, okay, kind of. But somehow, when the pensioners went back to maybe the jail house, and there was
because this is coming from the national body now.
Exactly.
The RBSA chapter is saying that they don't agree with such agreement.
Exactly.
Because
so who makes up these entities that went?
It's a good question. It's a good question to ask. And also, where I blame the government angle is communication, like you rightly said. The government media needs to do, maybe there's an opportunity to also advise the CPS and the SA on media, that whenever this kind of agreements are reached, whether written or unwritten, you let the public know, because it's also a way of being transparent and carry the members of the public along, so that not when you make pronouncements like this and things start happening, people start saying, no, we did not say this or we did not say that, because assuming that there was a public announcement that here we have met with the pensioners and this is the place we are, if you are doing anything, the public will back you up. But the good thing is, there is a commitment in the part of government.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, and that commitment is what citizens like us are holding on to. And I am hopeful that this matters arising, as we will call it, between the pensions and the government will be reached and settled as soon as possible. Yeah.
All right. Now, before now, the Commissioner for Information of this government had come out to say they've set up a help desk for the pensioners who were not able to receive their pensions in the Ministry of Finance. Is there any news on that? Any follow-up to make sure? Because these pensioners, I read something online where a certain lady was aggrieved that her late mother didn't get anything, and she, as a next of kin, was expecting to get something when the monies were paid, but she didn't get.
This is not to fault the Honorable Commissioner for Information, but it's also to complain, maybe publicly. I know that I have an uncle who was in a similar situation. Unfortunately, he died, and the next of kin, as it were, also tried to reach out. There was a phone number that was actually made available to members of the public. I think so, because I know I got hold of that phone number, and personally I dialed that phone number and it was just ringing and no one was speaking. So now this front desk, I don't know how it works. I think there should be a dedicated person or persons who their own duty is to pick up their phone calls, because there are some pensioners who are bedridden.
They can't even move from their
This is
homes.
why I'm going to say something now, but I know it will lead us to another discussion. This whole issue of verification, all right? There are some pensioners who are bedridden. they cannot be stressed. So at least they have young people around them, or helpers, or what do you call them in UK, or what do you call- caregivers, good, caregivers around them that can put a phone call across and give you the detailed information that you need. So I think it's an opportunity to advise the Commissioner for Information to please, whatever the front desk officer means, okay, let them be accessible, especially the phone. Let them pick their phones. It can't afford to be ringing and nobody is speaking, or it doesn't even ring at all, because I know I've experienced that personally.
Sure.
So back to what you asked me properly, I think it's also a way of the government trying to show that they are responsible to their duties. However, based on what I have said, I think they should do well by communicating better, because I think the major problem this administration is facing currently, in as much as they have the goodwill, they have shown commitment also, I think their communication pattern is somewhat poor, because it does appear members of the public are not fully aware of what the government is saying. The government might have a different thing in mind, but the way it's coming out, the communication is sending a wrong signal. That is why each time a government makes a publicity, there's this kind of hula baloo, there's this problem here and there, and people are trying to pick up the pieces. So I think that the whole media team needs to really sit down and find smart ways to actually communicate to the public, from the commissioner to the CPS to the SA and all those ones in the back end, including you journalists.
But this is supposed to even lead us to a lot, like it's a lot we could explore in this line, but obviously we
cannot do that.
For time. So, but quickly before we go, in few words, what do you think this whole maybe the miscommunication or poor communication line as far as this present administration is concerned? How do you think this is affecting the present government, or how will it affect it if it's not affecting it already at the moment?
I think the way it's affecting the government, it makes the government look a bit insincere, because communication is the most powerful tool a government can actually use to win the hearts of people. The government already has a goodwill that works for them, but one thing I advise the government is not to take people for granted. Because if you do not address these very tiny important things, it could make a whole mess. So I think that the government should do well in communicating with the people. How they will do that, I'm sure they know what to do.
Anyways, that's fantastic. I think that sums it all, because the trust is hanging in the balance if we keep going about matters like that. There's a whole lot that we can talk about regarding this pattern of communication. So I do hope that the government will do better in that line. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Kelechi Imo, for coming. And of course, we will hope to have you again, because we have to delve into some really deeper areas of this conversation.
I'm here.
Definitely. We'll make that happen. And thank you as well, the beautiful one, for standing and sitting beside me today.
Always, I got you.
All right,
and that's the size of our package today on Eastern Circle. We'll take you back to our Abuja studio for the rest of Rapid Dawn. See you tomorrow morning.
Good morning.
Ay, bad, make you provide. We leave you like no wonder. I no need talk, you go no feeling.